Well, thank you so much for helping my project. Could you say a little bit about yourself?
Um, I am a former homeschool mom and retired because they grew up. Uh, and I work at a convenience store headquarters to maintenance work orders. So I help keep the stores going, basically. So I used to be a runner, and I ran 5 Air Force marathons since we live near the Air Force Base here in Eden area, Dayton, Ohio area.
Wow,
Okay.
that's quite a accomplishment. I ran a couple of half marathons, and that pretty much did me in. So I can only imagine what going twice that far would do.
Yeah, I'm done forever though.
Well, um, with your homeschooling, did you like? I guess what are some of the benefits do you see with homeschooling as opposed to like public school?
Well, I guess the results, my children, my one daughter works at Amazon headquarters as a software engineer, and my other daughter works as an advisor with her master's degree at a community college. They both scored perfect scores on their English 12 AP exams, and they were mad at me because they did, because they are science and math kids. Mom's the literature one. So I taught them too much about
Well,
my favorite area.
Well, that's really good though. That between their own interest and your interest, they really got to expand their horizons a lot more than if it was just all lined up.
Yep. My ex-husband worked on the Araya, which is the plane that communicates between the launch place and the shuttle.
Oh, okay.
So we were around for some of that back 1990s. So
Exciting times back when they were uh, doing, I guess, the shuttle mirror project. You know, where they were working with the Russians on their space station, and then I guess later on in the end of the '90s, starting the International Space Station.
yes, that's right. People think that down below on the ground, they're talking straight to the people on the ship or plane or whichever way you want to call it. And they're not. There's like 3 planes flying around the world doing connections, radio frequency connections. So that's what my ex-husband did.
Wow. Um,
So
so I was wondering if you knew that NASA had plans to go back to the moon.
yes, that's how I found your blog and hooked up. Kind of interesting that they're going to go back and um, be neat to see what they do with it, on the moon exactly, instead of just walking on it once and going home.
I went to the Houston Half Marathon last weekend. My son was running in it. I wanted to, but I didn't train. But the thought occurred to me, I wonder when the first half marathon on the moon will be. I was wondering if you had any thoughts on that.
Oh my gosh, I never even, wow. I don't think I'll be alive when that happens because there's a lot involved with that, mostly the oxygen. And wow, I'm going to have to think about that some more. Really cool.
So what do you think about NASA sending astronauts back to the moon?
I think that we benefit a lot from all the different experiments they've done. Everyone that's contributed to the experiments that they were allowed to put on. I can't think of an example right now. Oh my goodness, blank. But I think there's a lot we can learn, especially with oxygen and lack of oxygen. That can benefit us a lot in the medical field, I think. So that's probably more my interest area, I think.
And whenever you think where it might lead to, like 200 years in the future, what kind of visions come to your mind?
I can still see them flying to the moon and doing experiments, but I'm not sure about further than that. I think the logistics and time is the thing that's going to make that a little bit difficult to, do productive things, you know. like a marathon on the Mars is. I don't think that's going to really work.
I know 6 months to get there in free fall and trying to exercise like, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours a day just to keep your body in shape.
Right. Yeah, it's too limiting. So, and I think there's a God in the universe that's on the other side of it. So we'll all be there eventually.
I I guess how much of this universe do you think we should explore before we get to the other side?
Oh, as much as we want. It's there. It's God's creation. He made it for us. We're allowed to enjoy it any way we can figure out how to enjoy it or use it for our, benefit. Like the plants have a lot of medicinal properties. So there's got to be things that they can discover about outer space, the moon, the rocks, everything they find out there can benefit us because we have a creative imagination and our scientific thinking, and mix that with our creativity, we can really come up with some neat stuff, I think.
Yeah, it's amazing. And also, I guess different environments encourage different ways of thinking. And who knows, whenever you start getting humans living in very different conditions, what ideas might come to them.
Yeah, I think because my teaching my children, I was more into arts and literature and thing, and they wanted all that science stuff. And I was very weak in that. So, but the creativity that we applied to both sides was pretty interesting. So yeah, I enjoyed that immensely. So it would be really cool to see how they do that with space.
And if you could, would you take a trip to space?
Mm, only if I were 20, yeah, definitely. You know, I'm an adventurer type. At my age, with my health, I think that how weak you get when you come back, and that, I'm not sure I would be able to. And if they can figure out a way, that would be cool. I would go for it.
How about one of these suborbital trips, like you see Jeff Bezos's Blue Origin doing? It's like 15 minutes from takeoff to landing.
Yeah, if Jeff wants to give me a ride, I'll hop on. I don't have any
I'm hope
money for the ride, so it's got to be a free ride.
I'm hoping the price comes down.
Yeah, that would be neat. Even if that's what we get out of the moon initially, that is a great learning experience just to do that. The
Well,
homeschool riders to the moon.
yeah, I know. You're talking about the ultimate field trip.
Yes, I know. I took my kids on trips, Niagara Falls to, the Air Force Museum, etc. So we did everything.
That's amazing. Did any of them want to be an astronaut growing up?
Yes, my oldest daughter wanted to go to space camp, and she really wanted to do that kind of thing. Things didn't work out in that way. So, but she's still in the science field and engineering.
That's awesome. And you can always choose to make changes throughout your life. So it's
Oh,
an
you got
option that's
that right.
always open to them.
That's right. Yeah, I'm doing a lot more computers and math stuff than I would ever have thought when I was growing up.
Uh, and it's great. It seems like you probably have your daughters as a resource to help you out with that.
Yeah, well, I grew up with my dad was working on computers back in the 60s and 70s. So I was like the only girl in the computer class in the 70s because I was the only one that knew what it was and had one. So that's a
I'm
unique situation for me.
I'm trying to think. I mean, back then, I guess big mainframes were the
Yeah,
uh, the
big
thing.
as a house, what you can do on your phone. And the card readers, with the little holes punched through the little cards. That was my when I had homework and stuff. That was the paper I used. So for my notes and things for school.
Um, do you by chance remember the last trip to the moon, 1972?
Oh, gosh. Well, I do remember watching Challenger when that went up. But no, I didn't. I don't remember exactly where I was. I was 10 years old, I think. Yeah, 10. I was 10 years old. So I kind of remember them watching the going to the moon. I know I watched it in 60, when was it? 68?
69.
69. Okay. I kind of remember that because it was such a thing, and we watched it on a little black and white TV, and my mom and dad and we all just scrunched around it. So it was exciting. That's the one I remember the most, is the first one that I watched.
Did you have a feeling at that time that eventually, that today, it's these astronauts going, but at someday it'd be just everybody would go, or did that thought not really come to
Yes,
mind?
I thought we would be further along, much further along. But 'cause 9 and 10-year-old, we think we can do, like the Jetsons was the cartoon. So I expected it to be like that now. We'd have flying cars and all that right now, but we don't. So, well, sort of, but it's not like it's portrayed on that cartoon. Although a lot
I,
of
I
things on the cartoon are true.
I would say, the other side of that flying car thing is we also don't have falling cars now either.
It's true. So,
So always worry about, you have a car flying and then it runs into some type of mechanical issue.
well, we have cars that can go driverless now, and trucks. So
That's
we're
true.
on our way. I mean, you just got to get some of the little things worked out, like not crashing into things. But
That's true. Yeah, no,
they, they even have stuff for that, where your vehicle stops before you hit something. So they just have to tie it all together.
that's true. Well, that's pretty much all the questions I had. Did you have any questions for me or anything else that you thought would be good to add?
Um, well, I guess wondering, what do you think you'll do at the end of this? When they land on the moon, you're going to keep doing this, or you plan to go
Well,
another level?
my plan has been counting down to the end of 2024, which is the year that they were supposed to have people on the moon when I started the project. So it's still really counting down to the end of 2024, and then I think that will be it for a while.
Ah, don't have another thing on your plate.
No, not yet, not yet.
Okay. Too soon. Okay. I just wondered. I'm the dreamer and the imagination person, so I'm always looking to the future. Are you going to go
Absolutely.
to the moon? Are you going to go?
I keep telling my wife that we're going to have our 50th year marriage anniversary there. So we'll
Oh,
see how that
that would be
works out.
sweet. All right. That's your future goal. There you go.
Everybody's invited.
All right. We can all
We'll pay
zoom
for
in.
your oxygen. We'll pay for your oxygen once you get there.
That's great. I love that. So I guess that will be your next project.
Exactly.
Everybody that's done an interview with you, we get to zoom in on the ceremony.
That would be amazing.
That's pretty cool. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Be safe out there driving.
Bye bye.
Bye.